There is no question that AI can be remarkably helpful to our profession. It can summarize research, documentation drafts, organize information, create patient education materials, suggest treatment ideas, and help clinicians work more efficiently. Those capabilities are real, and they can provide meaningful support in both healthcare and educational settings. The question's not whether or not AI is useful. The question is how we use those capabilities without giving away ownership of our own thinking. We've seen that expertise isn't simply having access to information, it's knowing how to evaluate information. It's knowing when something doesn't fit. It's recognizing what's missing. And it's making sound decisions when there isn't a single right answer. And by now, you understand that an AI generated treatment plan, even one that's evidence based, well written, and appears completely reasonable, is just that, a recommendation generated by an algorithm. Who is responsible for that recommendation? The AI isn't, the clinician is. AI can generate information, it can suggest possibilities, it can organize evidence, but it cannot assume responsibility for a clinical decision. It cannot explain its reasoning to a patient's family. It cannot defend a recommendation to a supervisor. It cannot appear before a licensing board. And it cannot be held accountable for patient outcomes. Those responsibilities remain human responsibilities. The more capable AI becomes, the more important that distinction becomes. Those are exactly the right questions to be asking. And to answer them well, we need to go deeper than whether the output looked useful or professional. Responsible use of AI means understanding what these systems actually do well, where they run into trouble, and how to tell the difference. We've already touched on fluency and accuracy, how something can sound completely convincing and still be wrong. In fact, the same qualities that make it useful are part of what makes errors so hard to spot. So understanding AI isn't just about knowing what it can do. It's equally about knowing where it can go wrong. One of the most talked about limitations of generative AI is hallucination. This is when an AI system generates information that is false, fabricated, or unsupported, and presents it as though it were accurate. The system isn't lying. It isn't trying to deceive anyone. It's doing exactly what it's built to do, which is generate language that looks probable and coherent. The problem is that probability and truth aren't the same thing. This makes more sense when we understand that large language models predict language patterns. They don't verify facts before generating a response. Most of the time, those predictions land on something useful and accurate, but occasionally they produce something that sounds completely plausible and isn't. That's not a bug that will eventually get fixed. It's a byproduct of how these systems work, which is why verification stays necessary no matter how good the output looks. AI systems learn from large collections of human-generated data, and that data reflects the world as it is, including its biases, gaps, and unequal representation across populations. So AI outputs can end up reflecting those same limitations. This isn't unique to AI, of course. Human decision-making is subject to bias too, right? But AI can reproduce those patterns at scale, which raises the stakes. Being aware of that is a core part of what it means to use these tools responsibly. Consider a bilingual patient being evaluated for a language impairment. If the training data used to develop an AI system primarily reflect monolingual English-speaking populations, then recommendations may not fully account for cultural and linguistic differences. The output may sound reasonable, but that doesn't mean it's appropriate for every patient. Clinical judgment remains essential when applying information to individual cases. That leads to broader questions. As AI becomes increasingly capable, what do we want the role of the clinician to be? If AI can write reports, what remains uniquely professional? If AI can summarize evidence, what remains uniquely clinical? If AI can generate recommendations, what remains uniquely human? The answer is judgment, interpretation, context, ethical decision making, responsibility. Patients are not simply collections of symptoms. They have goals, preferences, histories, values, and circumstances. We all know that. Those factors often matter just as much as the evidence itself. And integrating all of those conversations into a meaningful clinical decision remains a profoundly human responsibility. So, what does cognitive sovereignty look like in practice? Let's look at 5 habits that can help clinicians maintain ownership of their thinking while still benefiting from AI. Maybe the most important habit is remembering where responsibility ultimately resides. AI can suggest and can summarize and can draft. It can recommend, but it cannot assume accountability. So before implementing any recommendation, ask yourself, can I explain this decision? Can I defend it? Would I be comfortable putting my name on it? Would I be comfortable explaining it to the patient or family? If the answer is no, more thinking is needed because accountability cannot be delegated.